We're back again for our weekly live spiritual variety show, Make Shift Happen. Hi, everyone. This is Tammy Lee with the Emerald Compass. I'm a multi-dimensional intuitive energy tracker and facilitator of transformation and healing experiences. So if you could let me know if you can hear me. Okay, because my mic, my mic is having a few issues. So if you could, looks like it's on now, but if you could let me know if you can hear me before we get started today, that would be wonderful. I'm going to check out the Facebook group. Something that you're going to see right above this is a link that when you click on that link, I can see your where it says streamyard.com/Facebook. If you click on that, hi Jennifer, thanks for joining. If you click on that, I can see your comments over in the StreamYard where I'm actually, because what it shows, if I'm over in the Facebook group, I can see Jennifer's comment, but when I'm in the StreamYard on where I'm streaming from, it just says Facebook user. There you go. Whew. So, as we gather together, I just want you to take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Today we're talking about you being the eye of the storm. As we've seen, there's been many storms. There's been many storms lately, ever since the first of the year. Whether they're personal, whether they're physical, whether they're spiritual, or whether they're in the community. We've had a lot of storms. So as we gather together in this sacred container, calling forth all those that want to and desire to help us, as I put out there yesterday, we're going to have more help today. And in I just noticed something I have a light that's supposed to be shining on me, so there's enough light for this video, and I just looked up and it's actually shining at the ceiling. So just take it that that's a metaphor for something. I'm so passionate about showing people, teaching people how to create their heaven on earth, their life that they truly, truly desire, and all they came here to be, and awaken them up to their greatness. And if I can help you to facilitate that change, to make that shift happen, in a quicker way, that's what I'm here to do. Expedite the process without blowing ourselves up. Because we actually can get too much information at one time as we work on our inner self. And that's what this is about today, of as this high intensity sacred energy moves with us and through us if you have a yes. So as you take that deep breath, take that in. I want you to breathe down into your heart. I want you to get out of your mind. I invite you to get out of your mind, to let all that stuff just drop away, just drop away, just drop away. And sink down into your heart space. As if you're looking, like your eyes are looking through your heart, looking through that area. As I'm looking through that area, looking through my heart space, I'm like realizing I didn't bring any water for me to sip on, or even hot tea. So, yeah. Okay, as we come together. How many of you have had storms recently in your life? How many of you would like to be the eye of the storm, to where you hold your center? You hold your center, but you still allow yourself to feel that emotion that's coming up, because the one thing we can we must allow is for the emotion to be recognized within us. The emotion to be recognized. The worst thing we can do for ourselves and anybody around us is to stuff the emotion down, to stuff the feeling away, to put it in a box and take it and bury it. Because emotions buried alive, they never die. They will come back and revisit you. They will. And as we come together, like, that's one of the things I wanted us to, like, just talk about, to be able to, like, recognize that sorrowfulness, recognize that ache, that heartache, like true heartache that's within us, to no longer push it away, to no longer, because I used to do this years and years, decades ago. I would, put on that smile, put on that other mask, to not let people see my pain. And then I went through a metamorphosis, I don't know what else to call it, with when I attended a, thank you for that, when I attended a week-long, one of the most powerful things I've ever been a part of up in Canada. And one of the things, this was so potent for me, one of the things we were directed to do was not to speak while we were eating. Not to speak while we're eating. And it was a really in-depth, like, that whole week really rocked me. And so I was feeling emotional, but I didn't want anybody to see the pain in my eyes, so I wore sunglasses. And then while we're sitting there being silent, I heard this voice say, take off your glasses, Tammy. Allow people to see your pain. With that has come, with that came a facilitation of energy, of healing beyond anything I could have imagined. As I took off my glasses, these two gentlemen sat across from me. And I allowed them to see the pain in my eyes. And the tears started flowing. And one reached out and held my hand. More tears flowed. You see, when we allow people to see us, our true self, that's actually one of the greatest, most potent, powerful gifts. When we allow our authentic, vulnerable self to be seen, it helps that other person to rise up in their gifts. It helps them to rise up in their sacred gifts. Sometimes being the eye of the storm takes that of another person to help facilitate. And then once we work out that inner compass, because sometimes our inner compass can just be spinning because it doesn't know what direction to go. Because of all the stuff we have hidden inside of us that we don't want anybody else to see. And do you know, darlings, that we want to see you? We want to see you. We want to feel you. Yeah, in all of who you are. We want to help facilitate that change, that shift. As we bring compassion, true compassion, forward. And the light of our essence do you know that just being acknowledged, for being accepted, for being acknowledged, okay, that's a better word, for who you are and for the pain that you are suffering from, that alone can heal beyond this lifetime? Because we carry forth. If our ancestors never had a chance to heal that, it's in our DNA, it's in our molecular structure, and we have carried forth thoughts, feelings, and emotions that may not even be ours. That may not even be ours. And yet, when we go and we do this inner work, and because that's one of the things I do, is I help to clear ancestral lines. Mhm. And when we clear that angst, that anger, that there's just a vast array of different things, a vast array. When we acknowledge those parts of us that want to come forth and speak and speak and speak. And they can be to let it speak. It's not just always words. It can be through pictures. It can be through song. It can be through the emotion in our eyes. To be that calming force, that calming structure, that calming energy, frequency. Some people say that that is a gift of holding space. These parts of us that have been so suppressed and repressed, once they're able to say, to show, for you to allow them to come forth so they don't bottle up and end up exploding, or don't bottle up and end up manifesting in a dis-ease. That can happen. I see it all the time. Even with family members. Of not speaking their truth, of not speaking or allowing their feelings or emotions to really be heard, to really allow them to come forth. And what causes this? Sometimes we don't know someone. We don't know someone that can literally, truly hear us. I searched a long time to find that kind of person, that, or people that hear me, in order for me to start hearing me, the inner me. I had to take care of outside stuff. Like, because the more we work, here's a surface piece, here's a surface piece, here's a surface piece. And then those pieces, once they fall away or have been transcended, okay, that's a better way of saying it. They've been transcended because they've been healed. Then the deeper inner stuff comes forward. And when that deeper inner stuff comes forward, it's like you're hitting gold. It's like yeah. It reminds me of digging for gold, and sometimes it can look so black. But wouldn't we allow that? Like digging. That's why it doesn't scare me. years, decades. I was so scared of the dark. Never understood it. And now, not at all. Because I know that's where the gold lies. That's where your golden nuggets are. Those moments, those pieces, those fragmented soul pieces that want to come back to you. Want to come back to you. So what else keeps us from really going in and digging in? You're right, Jennifer. It's not just speaking from the heart, it's seeing from the heart. It's when we see through our heart. Because Jennifer says when you speak from the heart, you can heal people. You can heal. People listen. But here's another layer to that. When we see through our heart, we bring forth the compassion. Compassion for whatever is. And we can see beyond what people, we can see beyond the situation. We can see beyond the situation. You can even see beyond in order to see the pain about all involved. Even the pain of the perpetrators. This is true. It's that moment in Canada where this gentleman reached out and touched my hand as we were eating breakfast in silence. And my emotion was allowed to be seen. My pain was allowed to be seen by another individual. There was a healing that this man did not even know he was helping to facilitate. There was a healing of being able to see the pain in a perpetrator that when we do that, okay, when we see the pain, like it gets us out of victimhood. It can actually help us to lift ourselves out of victimhood when we see the pain or the energy or the frequency. No. When we can see the pain and the sorrow, thank you. When we can see, I wanted to rephrase that. When we can see the pain and the sorrow in a perpetrator, the confusion, it raises us out of victimhood. And it helps us to start possibly seeing a bigger picture. And it helps the hate, even the shame and the guilt that we may be carrying, to start its own healing process. And sometimes it can heal like that. Like that. Yeah. I know people that don't want to go there because so many So many are so afraid they're going to lose themselves in their emotion because they've kept it bottled up for so long. And that's when having someone who can facilitate with you, that doesn't go, oh, poor you, because then they keep you stuck in your emotion. They keep you stuck in your victimhood. Not that they mean to, not that they mean to. There's just some people that don't know how to help facilitate. I had that for years, back in my 20s and 30s, of, talking to my girlfriends about this and that and blah, 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 and oh, Tammy, oh, yeah, oh, well, oh, gosh, girl. Oh, well, yeah, you have every right to feel that way. And it's like, no, that's not what we want anymore. We want to see where our responsibility and accountability is. And sometimes that's as simple as allowing our emotion to come forth and working with it and healing it and letting it be seen and letting it be heard, because it is tired and tired and tired of being stuck inside of you. It is tired of being stuck inside of you, girl. Yes, it's tired. It's got its own frequency, and it wants to be free, and it wants to transmute and go back to its original divine frequency. I remember working out years ago, 7, 8 years ago. I had a coach, and I remember he just had a simple thing: 2 weights in my hands, step up the step, Tammy. Just step up the step, trying to help me with my balance. Step was maybe that far. My left knee hurt so bad. I'm like, wow, I don't even know what's going on, but I can't. But I even felt out of balance. So we lowered the step. And even lowering that step, my left knee was hurting. Like, what is going on? So see, because I've done enough work to where, like, I ask my body parts when I remember, okay? So I asked my left knee, what's going on? Because it really hurt. And it told me, I could hear it say, I do not feel supported. Now, in that moment, I didn't start crying because I was in the middle of the gym, but I remembered I stayed with that energy. And inside of me, because I could feel the emotion, I could feel the emotion, I could feel the emotion. And I allowed it. I allowed that emotion, but I also did some deep breaths with it. And I just talked to my knee as I continue to do the exercise. And the pain dissipated. Because see, all it wanted to do was tell me it does not feel supported. And then I take that message and help the energy to facilitate, help it to rise up and say, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for sharing with me. Then I look in my life and see where I never felt supported or where I do not feel supported. See, these are different steps you can take. Okay, I didn't know I was supposed to go here, but same thing with a lot of women have pains in their womb space, in their sexual organs. A lot of girls, a lot of women have horrendous pain during their periods. If we could stop, if we could just stop for a moment and ask that pain, what is it you want to tell me? And just take a deep breath and breathe into that pain. And allow all of that anger. You see, there's a lot of anger and rage that we hold, that finding the right person to help you if you don't know how to do it, and not hiding from it no more, not hiding from that rage and anger. And yeah, I worked through this. I did a lot of deep work a year ago, and I was stunned. I was stunned that I had so much rage and anger inside of me that it actually appeared to me like icky, sticky, black tarry goo. And it was not just mine. It was from, as I worked on it, it's from all this ancestral stuff that had happened, that the women in my lineage never had a voice. And healing that facilitated a great change. But it took a while. It's not always a one and done, that's for sure. It took a while. And it takes courage to go there. But as we do these different things, as we just recognize why we're afraid to go there, why we're afraid to speak our truth. Maybe there's an old memory of retribution. But once we dig into that, once we heal that, but recognizing it at first, just to recognize it and like, oh, wow, that's there? I didn't know that was there. And don't be ashamed about it. Like, I got some rage in me. Well, I wonder where that's come from. But start asking yourself this before you start sharing with others. That if you could take care of yours, your frequency rises. Your fragmented soul pieces start to come back to you. Because now you've opened up this space within you. One of the ways that I've done this in the past to help me facilitate is to go walk, just walk on the land. Sometimes I've even been down on all fours and I just scream but I not scream to scream, but scream, allowing the pain to have a voice, to have an expression in a safe way. In a safe way. Knowing that my joy team, my entourage, my spirit team, my spiritual team, and I mean like multi-dimensional team, beyond. Some of them I don't even know who they are, but I know I can feel them. I can feel them here. Whew, I can feel them right now. Before we even got on the call, I can feel Mama Earth. And she wants to help us heal. She wants to help us heal. And as we, and so just try this. Just try this. If you don't have a place to walk, if there's a place you can get some dirt, and just put your hands in the dirt and just call forth. Okay, so call forth. What's that mean? So just take a deep breath. And take that into your heart. And as you do another one, take another deep breath. And as you exhale, even if you don't understand, just ask Mama Earth to be with you. I didn't understand all this years ago. I'm 58 now. I mean, I never understood why people hug trees decades ago. Now I do. Even sitting up against a tree. Like, nature wants to help us so much. Mama desires to help us so much that if you can't get outside, imagine sitting against a tree. You're in the shade. You can even imagine the tree have arms and she wraps her arms around you, allowing you to purge. Is this resonating with any of you that are on here? If you would go ahead and type in the text chat so I know I'm on the right track. But when we allow that, it helps us to be, because then as we take these things and they're transmuted and they're no longer within us, and as those fragmented soul pieces come back to us, it helps to build a solidness within us, a trustworthiness, a trust within us to ourselves, for ourselves, to where we can start to be that eye of the storm, to where we help to facilitate and shift the change that's wanting to happen, that we, can be that rock solid foundation for others. That we can actually be the mortar to help the foundation of others. As they work through their things, the more you work on yourself, the more you help facilitate change within you. The more you can hold that sacred space for others. The more you can hold that sacred space for others. And the more peace, true peace, You just being here right now, you just being here, taking those deep breaths, being in this frequency is already helping to facilitate change. Does anybody have any comments or questions they want to share? Feel free, feel free. Jan says that she has a tree at a lake that she calls her grace tree. She feels strong vibration when she embraces it. Yeah. And sometimes we forget about those things, don't we? We all do. So if you have, okay, so here's another thing to start doing. If you have an inkling or a yearning, like I'm asking you, Jan, has this grace tree been calling to you? Have you been, so one of the ways this happens is you feel an urge, or you like think of something that reminds you of, let's say, that tree, or there's a spot on some land that we have that I've been feeling I'm to go over there. And I've allowed my schedule to, have allowed me to be too busy to actually put it on my schedule. So now I know out loud with all of you, I am to go, and it's our sacred circle over. I just discovered 8 months ago that we have a stone circle on our land, on a spot that I didn't even know was there. That was a lot of energy moving. I yawn. When energy is real strong and moves, I yawn a lot. Jennifer says, the words she's hearing me speak are resonating deeply. When I stay in my heart space, all fear drops away. Imagine that. And imagine even if you are feeling fear of taking that next step, having fear be your friend. Having fear be your friend. Because when you ask that fear, what is it you want to say to me? It's usually just something that's stuck inside of you that wants to have that voice, that wants to be acknowledged. And once you like take fear, and I'm talking about, because there's true fear when your life is at stake, okay? But everything else is usually what I've seen and what I've done in the past is we create a non-existent future with our thoughts. And what do I mean by that? When we start to think, when we create a story about something that's not even happened, but it gets you all worked up inside. How many of you have done that? I did that for years. For years. And it took a coach to just energetically take me by the shoulders and shake me and say, Tammy, enough. You're creating a non-existent future with your thoughts. And when we do that, when we create a non-existent future with our thoughts, that brings us stress, that brings us worry, that brings us all these things that do not support us, we release chemicals out of our own brain that can make us sick, that can make us fat, that can make us unhealthy. So if we're going to create a story, if we're going to create a future, why not create the best? If we're going to create a non-existent future, instead of taking us in a spiral down, why don't we create one that takes us up? How many times? How many times? So now you know how you can call yourself on your own stuff. This is a part of being sovereign, right? This is a part of being sovereign. When we can call ourselves on our own stuff. And then when you even question something, do you have somebody that can see beyond, that you can turn to and say, I'm questioning myself about this. Can you help me see even more? And right away, when you have that right person, they can. That one person that sees beyond your mask, that sees beyond your veils, that sees beyond, and can really see you and your essence and your gloriousness. When we have those particular people in our life, whether it's a coach or a mentor, friend, and we start to check ourselves, and we don't wait for other people to check us. We check ourselves. We become that stronger eye of the storm. And when and here's another thing. When you're around other people that are creating a non-existent future with their thoughts, their emotions, and it's taking them into a spiral, do you have the courage to speak up and say, stop? Even if they're not going to like what you say. That's the next step. Even if they don't like what you're going to say, even if it's a family member, my kiddos will tell you, oh yeah, my mom does that. Now, wait a minute. Roll back. Well, how do you know that? Well, I don't know. Okay, so you don't know. Yeah, sometimes they get frustrated because how I've helped them to look at different things, but they're no longer in the spiral. Friends too. Clients always. So there's a couple of things that we've talked about today. Creating a non-existent future with your thoughts, your emotions, taking you into a spiral, taking you into fear. It's time to start catching ourselves on that. And forgive yourself. I mean, like, just let it go. Like, wouldn't you catch yourself? Like, there's nothing about beating ourselves up. Okay? No beating up. Just laugh like, oh, wow. I got you again, Tammy. Girl, what are you doing? Okay. Like, make fun with it. Okay? Mm-hmm. Healing that rage within you, the anger, like allowing yourself to even admit it. That's a huge step, man. That's a huge step, ladies. We allow ourselves to, like, because that is not what we've been taught. When we just like, wow. Because last year, my husband, we were in the kitchen and he said something and I was triggered. Girl, was I triggered. But I knew it wasn't Tim. I knew it wasn't. It's like, it had, I'm like, oh, that's my stuff. What is that? And I just went into another room. I excused myself, went into another room. And I just started asking myself, what is that? And that's when I found the icky, sticky black tarry goo within me. And I worked with all my tools to help to facilitate it, to heal it, to transmute it. And it was so grateful because it's tired. Ladies, hear me. These emotions are tired of being stuck inside of you. We must create change within. We must make shift happen within us so we can even more and more become that eye of the storm, become that grace. To become that grace. To walk with grace. To be grace. To be that compassion that others can then because just when you walk it, and you walk, you are a healing, you're a healing magnet. And you might not even know it. Not magnet. Better word. You're a healing, like, okay, this is how I see it. I see, and I've seen this, like I never understood this, but I actually see that I do so much inner work that I become this grace, this peace, which are higher vibrations than love. That my essence shines so bright through me that wherever I walk, sparkles reminds me of Tinkerbell, how her sparkles came off of her wand. They emanate from us. Sparkles emanate all around us. And that when we don't even know, because we have done so much work, that our essence, our beingness, our essence of who we are outside of this body shines so brightly, so much through us, has that capability of healing, of transmuting. That's even a better word, of transmuting emotions and lower frequencies around us. We are that. We are that. And the more we do our work, the more we are in that frequency. And then you get so touched that the emotion you feel is pure ecstasy. Pure peace. Pure grace. You all have that within you. I know it, I see it, and I feel it within you. You have that capability. That's something that we're also diving into in our Emerald Compass Sacred Sisterhood. So if that's something that you want to talk more about, we'd love to have you join us. I have so much love coming forth, and I know it's bigger than me. Yeah, Mama. I know it's been an hour, but she's just like, whew, girl, come walk with me. But she's saying that to all of you, not just me. Girl, come walk with me. Yeah. Oh, I don't have a Kleenex. My nose is about to drip. We all have this capability. I love you. I love you. I love you. I see you. I see you. I see you in your truth. It's time, ladies. It's time. Let me know how I can support you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for joining. Thank you so much for joining today. If you know somebody else in this group that you think would like to hear this message, share it with them. Tag them on it. I can already feel it just going into the group, this energy, this frequency. I'm making shift happen. I'm creating that change. Thank you, darlings. Thank you so much for joining. Mama is so happy you did too. Mama Earth. Sometimes all I can say is mama, mama, mama. Until next time.